You know you can hit harder than you do in matches. You felt it in practice. That one ball where everything clicked and the pace was there and it went exactly where you wanted. And then the moment it matters, you pull back. You aim for safe. You slow the swing down just enough to feel in control. And the frustrating part is that pulling back doesn't even make you more consistent. You still miss, just softer. The players who hit fast and keep it in aren't risking more than you. They just figured out 5 things about how pace actually works that changed everything. And once you understand them, you'll stop choosing between speed and accuracy like they're opposites. Because they're not. Here's the proof. 1. Pace comes from looseness, not effort. This is the one that feels wrong until the moment it clicks. And then it becomes the most obvious thing you've ever heard. Every time you want to hit harder, your body does the same thing. It tightens up, the grip firms, the forearm stiffens, the shoulder locks in. The whole chain braces for impact. And that bracing, that instinct to create more force through more tension, is exactly what kills the pace before the swing is halfway through. Here's the physics of it. A loose arm moves faster than a tight one. Not a little faster, significantly faster. The muscles in a relaxed arm can accelerate the racket head through contact at a speed that a tense arm simply cannot match. Because tension creates internal resistance that slows the movement down, even as you're trying to speed it up. You're fighting yourself. And the effort you're adding is actively canceling out the speed you're trying to generate. The fastest shots in tennis come from the most relaxed swings. Watch Alcaraz when he hits a forehand that sounds like a gunshot. His arm is almost floppy right up until the last split second of contact, where everything snaps. That snap, that last moment explosion from a loose, whipping arm, is producing speeds that a stiff, muscled swing could never reach. The drill for this is uncomfortable at first. Take your normal swing and consciously drop your grip pressure by about 40%. Not loosely holding the racket, but clearly less than you usually would. Swing and let the racket head move freely. It'll feel out of control. The ball will feel different coming off the strings. That different feeling is pace being produced the right way. Do it 20 times in a row until the looseness stops feeling wrong and starts feeling fast. 2. You need more margin, not less. This is the most counterintuitive thing about hitting harder. And it's the reason most players miss when they go for pace, even when everything else is right. When you try to hit faster, the instinct is to also aim more carefully. More pace equals more risk, so your brain compensates by targeting smaller zones, aiming closer to the lines, trying to be more precise to justify the extra speed. That approach is backwards, and it's where the miss happens. Pace requires margin. More height over the net, not less. More depth in the court, not pinpoint accuracy. The reason is simple. A faster ball moving in the same trajectory as a slower one will land shorter and closer to the net. The extra speed actually pulls the ball down. So if you aim for the same target you use on a controlled ball and then add pace, the ball hits the net or lands short. And you blame the pace when the real problem was the target. The players who hit fast and keep the ball in aren't more accurate than you. In some ways, they're less precise. They aim for the middle third of the court, 2 feet over the net, and trust that the pace and depth take care of the rest. A fast ball 2 feet over the net lands deep. A fast ball aimed at the tape doesn't land anywhere useful. Next time you practice hitting hard, raise your target. Aim 1 to 2 feet higher over the net than you normally would. Keep the target zone larger. Let the speed do the work. You'll be surprised how much less you miss without changing anything about the swing itself. And if you want to take your tennis to the next level, check out the Tennis Master Pack. A pack that includes the Elite Player Guide with technical and tactical tips. The Become a Pro Guide, where you'll learn how to become a pro tennis player. A full week fitness routine to take your fitness to the next level, and a prevention routine to prevent injuries and enhance recovery. This pack already helped hundreds of tennis players. Get your clicking on the link in the description. Let's continue with the video. 3. Your contact point is where pace is born or killed. You can do everything else right. Key to loose arm, correct margin, full swing, and still produce a soft ball. If the contact point is wrong, the energy doesn't transfer. It gets absorbed before it reaches the ball. 2 contact point mistakes kill pace. The first is hitting late. The ball is already level with your hip or behind it when the racket makes contact. At that point, the racket is decelerating. The swing peaked earlier, and by the time the ball and the strings meet, most of that speed is gone. What comes out is a pushed, late shot with none of the pace the swing was capable of producing. The second is hitting too close to the body. When the ball is cramped against your hip at contact, the arm has no room to extend through the strike zone. The swing compresses at impact. Energy that should be going into the ball goes into the awkward geometry of a jammed contact instead. The ball comes out soft regardless of how hard you swung. The contact point for maximum pace is in front of your body, slightly forward of your lead hip, at a distance where the arm is close to but not fully extended. That position is the only one where the kinetic chain from the legs through the hips, through the torso, through the shoulder and arm arrives at the ball with all of its speed intact. Move that contact point 3 inches backward or inward, and the chain breaks. Fix your contact point before you worry about swing speed. The fastest swing from the wrong contact point is slower than a moderate swing from the right one. 4. Accelerate through the ball, not to it. Most players peak their swing speed just before contact and then slow down. It feels natural. You're about to hit something, so you brace slightly for the collision. The racket reaches maximum speed, meets the ball, and decelerates from there. And that deceleration, that split-second braking just before and through contact, is quietly robbing you of pace on every single shot. Real pace comes from a swing that is still accelerating when it hits the ball and continues accelerating past it. The contact zone is not where the swing ends, it's the middle of it. The racket should be at its fastest point in the follow-through, not at impact. And getting to that point requires you to commit to swinging through a location in space where the ball happens to be, rather than swinging to the ball and stopping there. This is a mental shift as much as a physical one. Instead of focusing on hitting the ball, focus on where your racket is going after it. Pick a spot in the air about 2 feet past where the ball will be at contact. Swing to that spot. Let the ball be in the way. When the swing is aimed past the contact point, the racket is still accelerating through it, and that acceleration at impact is what produces the kind of pace that makes the ball feel different when it comes off the strings. Heavy, fast, and deep in a way that controlled swings never quite match. In this video, I show you how to hit faster and with more spin. I recommend you watch it after this one. 5. Hit faster in practice before you try it in matches. This is the one that explains why pace feels like a gamble in matches even after you understand everything else. Your body has a baseline, a speed it considers normal for tennis. Everything up to that speed feels controlled, familiar, and executable under pressure. Everything beyond it feels like a risk, and the only way to move that baseline up is to practice beyond it, regularly, deliberately, without caring about where the ball goes. Most players never do this. They practice at match pace or slightly below, trying to keep everything in, trying to be consistent, and then in a match, they try to go faster than they've ever trained to go. And it feels like a gamble because it is. Their body has never actually built the pattern for that swing speed. It's improvising. Spend 10 minutes every single session hitting harder than feels comfortable. Not trying to aim, not caring if it goes in, just feeling what a genuinely fast swing feels like. The looseness, the contact, the follow-through at real pace. Over time, that speed starts to feel normal. It stops feeling like something you're risking and starts feeling like something you own. And the moment it feels owned rather than attempted, you can take it into a match without the hesitation that causes the miss. Practice faster than you need to compete. The match pace will feel easy by comparison. 5 things between you and hitting faster without missing. Pace comes from a loose arm, not a tense one. Add margin to your target when you go for pace, not precision. Get the contact point right because that's where speed transfers or disappears. Swing through the ball and let it be in the way of where you're going, and practice hitting hard before you need it in. Matches. Speed and accuracy are not opposites. They just need the right conditions to coexist. Build those conditions, one step at a time. Drop a comment telling me which one of these 5 changes how you think about pace. I want to know. Subscribe for more of this. Blue Tennis Dude. See you in the next one.